everyone, and welcome to today's workshop, Make Your Website Work for You, designed to help you improve your website. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Leslie Serrier, the Business Services Specialist at the Addison Public Library. I work with job seekers, business owners, and entrepreneurs in our community. I'm so excited to present the content today, courtesy of Grow with Google. For those of you who don't know about Grow with Google, it's an initiative that helps people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their businesses using Google tools. Today, we're going to learn about how to create a website that drives user action and supports your business goals. Whether you're launching a new website or sprucing up an old one, this workshop will help you get the most out of your site. So let's go ahead and get started. A strong web presence has long helped small businesses reach consumers, but consumer behavior is changing rapidly. Since the start of 2020, 75% of US consumers have tried a new shopping behavior. Maybe they're trying new ways to buy from businesses they know and trust, like using their mobile apps. Or maybe they've switched and now buy products from different businesses. These businesses may even have better mobile apps than the companies they were previously using. Changes in consumer behavior can be frustrating for marketers, but they're also opportunities. Today's consumers are motivated by ease, convenience, and trust. The opportunity can arise in key moments during a consumer's purchase journey. You can grab their attention with a strong web presence, one that's easy to navigate, convenient, and trustworthy. Consumers look for websites in moments of need. If you have what they need and have a strong website that provides a frictionless experience, you're more likely to win their business. Let's start by reviewing web design. When people hear web design, they often think of the graphic design, how the website looks and feels. But the look and feel is just one component of web design. Within the graphic template, there are a lot of common elements that appear on most websites, including 1, the header or the top section of the site. The header usually includes a company logo in the left corner, and most website visitors expect that logo will link to the home page. 2, the footer or the bottom section of the website. The footer usually includes important links, contact information, and copyright information. And 3, the navigation, usually horizontally across the top of the site or vertically on the left-hand side of the site. Effective websites follow guidelines to keep web pages consistent. Colors, font sizes, font styles, types of content, etc. Some sites are designed and built from scratch. Many sites use a content management system or a CMS. Most CMS options include web-based tools that allow you to easily build, customize, and update your website. There are many options out there, and they're all a little different. Shopify, Wix, and WordPress are just a few examples. If you're just getting started, we recommend that you try a few and find the CMS that you're most comfortable using. But whether you're building a website from scratch or using a content management system, all the principles from today's workshop are going to apply. In today's presentation, we're going to look at 5 characteristics of a great website. Website is not all about an eye-catching design. A great site is goal-oriented. How will your site grow your business? Is it search-friendly? Can the search engines find your site? Does it offer an easy and convenient experience for customers? Is it easy to use your site on all devices? Does it have pages and content that are organized intuitively and easy to navigate? Is your site simple to navigate? And how does it work to gain a customer's trust? Does your website protect your customers? Let's start by talking about why we would want our website to be goal-oriented. It's not enough just to have a site because everyone has one or because you've been told you need one. A great website has specific goals, both short and long term. If you factor in these goals as you create and refine your site, it can help your business now and in the future as your business grows. Start by asking yourself, why do I want a website? What are you trying to do? What are your goals? Your site can have all kinds of goals. Make sales may be an obvious choice, but think about the other ways a site can help your business. It could build your brand by establishing a look and feel that resonates with the customers you're trying to reach. It could generate leads by hooking a potential customer's attention and prompting them to contact you. It could re-engage existing customers, reminding them why they bought from you in the first place, offering related products, or letting them know you're expanding your products or services. A site might even help you attract new employees, or you might use your site to assist with customer support, answering frequently asked questions. To develop useful goals, put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Who is your website for? How do they act, think, and live? Is it relatively easy to define an audience with demographic data? It is relatively easy to find an audience with demographic data like gender, age, and employment status. But don't stop there. Ask yourself, what makes my audience unique? Your goal is to develop a more complete picture of your audience, a customer persona. So in example, examine specific age ranges rather than one wide range. Consider their location, city, suburbs, rural, etc. Consider education level, employment, hobbies and interests, and values. Consider their view of your product or service. Is it a necessity, a nice to have, or a special treat? An understanding of your audience can influence everything on your site, from graphic design to the words on the pages. It might be tempting to consider a broad audience. For example, everyone likes ice cream, right? But it's more useful to narrow the audience you really want. Even though everyone loves ice cream, a gourmet ice cream shop may specifically want to reach trendy foodies who are willing to spend more for locally sourced products of high quality. If it's that type of ice cream you sell, you want your website to communicate that to the foodies who are your most likely customers. So you've thought about your target audience. Now start to think about them in relation to your website and the goals of your business. Everything you do on your website should support your goals. One useful way to create meaningful goals is to use the SMART framework. S is the goal specific and detailed. M, how will you measure it? A, is the goal realistically attainable? R, is the goal relevant to your business? Will this goal help you reach your business goals? And T, time bound, set a time frame for achieving this goal. Now that you're thinking about your goals and your audience, let's add another consideration to the mix: tracking and measuring success. If you don't track and measure your website's performance, you won't have a way to make improvements. Well, at least improvements based on data. Here's another way to think about it. Let's say you make some modifications to your bicycle to make it go faster. If you don't know the max speed of your bicycle before the modifications, how will you know if it worked? Simply, you need to track and measure online success so you know what kind of improvements to make. There are lots of ways to do it, and some are more accurate than others. You can simply start by asking customers how they found you. You can ask that when they call you on the phone, visit your store, or correspond by email. You can also get more precise. For example, you can set up a trackable phone number. If you advertise with Google and you use the free call tracking, which it'll record every time someone calls, which records every time your ad results in a phone call. You can track the number of emails and form submissions from your site. And if you have an e-commerce site, you can track sales. You can also use web analytics software like Google Analytics to understand visitor behavior on your site. To help track and measure your goals, you can use this tool called Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a free tool that helps you better understand your audience and their activity on your site. The information will help you make more strategic decisions for your business. If you're feeling lost when it comes to goal setting, it might help to put yourself in the shoes of your customer and try to understand what they would be looking for on your website. But you don't have to guess. Google Analytics can help you answer many of these questions. You can use analytic reports to better understand your audience and what they're doing when they get to your website. Here are a few examples of insights you can get. What are the highest sources of traffic? What content on your website attracts the most visitors? What keeps them on the site longer? What are some of the key demographics of your site visitors? And what channels drive the most conversions? Organic search, paid ad, social ads, email, newsletters. I need to mention that there are multiple versions of Google Analytics. If you've already had Google Analytics set up, and you did that before October 14th of 2020, the reports most likely reflect the older version, which they call Universal Analytics. If you set up Google Analytics after that date, you're setting up Google Analytics for the first time for a particular site or app, you will see a new version, and this is called Google Analytics 4 or GA4. GA4 is now the officially recommended version for marketers. To set up a Google Analytics account for a website or an app, visit g.co/analytics. You'll start by either creating a new account or signing to an existing Google Analytics account. Next, you'll need to set up a property. A property is a collection point for the data that you will see in the reports. Follow the instructions to add the tracking code to your site. If you use a content management system, there may be a place to enter your Google Analytics measurement ID. Incidentally, if you set up Google Analytics before October 14th, 2020, that version of Google Analytics, again, is called Universal Analytics. This new version of Google Analytics is called Google Analytics 4 or GA4. A lot of people are confused by that, and it's a new update, so we're going to reiterate that a couple times just in case you're wondering. But you can and you should set up both kinds of reports, old and new. If you're already using the older version of Analytics, again, called Universal Analytics, you can set up the new reports using the GA4 Setup Assistant. There's a Help Center article if you have future questions or need instructions. Your older reports in this case will continue to work and collect data, but now you would have both sets of reports. If you're setting up Google Analytics for the first time, by default, you're getting the newer version, GA4, but you have the option to set up the older version at the same time. During the setup property, under the property setup step, you can click Show Advanced Options. Then you would toggle to create a Universal Analytics property and select create both a Google Analytics 4 and a Universal Analytics property. Boom, you will create both types of reports, Universal Analytics and GA4. No matter which version you're using, the same concepts apply. But if you have the older version of Google Analytics set up, you should add GA4 to your account. You don't lose data, and the existing reports will continue to collect data too. But you will be able to access, again, both sets of reports. Many of the accounts will have the option to use the GA4 Setup Assistant. To do that, you click Admin on the left navigation bar. It's the gear icon at the bottom. Next, click GA4 Setup Assistant. It's the first option in the second column, titled Property. Follow the prompts and wizards will set up GA4. It can take 30 minutes for data to begin appearing in your new Google Analytics 4 property site, just as a warning. If you cannot use the the Setup Assistant, there are detailed instructions in the Help Center. The website for assistance is on your screen. It's support.google.com/analytics. And the first topic is migrate from Universal Analytics to Google Analytics 4, and it has the information you need. Again, no matter what version of Google Analytics you use, those reports can help you make better business decisions, and you can find those answers in both versions of the software. So some of the reports you can find in that original version, the Universal Analytics, include real-time, useful to monitor activity as it happens on your site or app. Audience, for insights into the characteristics of your users, like where they are, how often and how long they engage with your content, and what devices are most popular. Acquisition, discover how users arrive at your site or app. Behavior, to discover how users interact with your site or your app. And conversion, is your website or your app successful? So now that's the version of the old version. We're going to take a look at the newer version, Google Analytics, or GA4. In GA4, reports are organized as follows. A report snapshot, a real-time report, what's happening right now, and report collections and topics. I'm going to break down the terminology to better understand all of this. A collection is a set of reports. Life cycle and user are predefined collections that appear in the report navigation by default. Topics refer to individual reports within a collection. For example, acquisition is a topic for a report within the lifestyle collection. You can find 4 report types under lifecycle collection. Acquisitions, the sources, mediums, and campaigns through which you engage users. Engagement, user engagement by events, pages, and screens. Monetization, revenue you might earn. And retention by new and returning users, cohorts. A cohort is a group of people banded together or treated as a group, and lifetime value. The user collection contains the following topics: demographics, to learn about your users, and tech, to learn about the technologies used to access your site or app. Before we move on, I want to introduce another free tool that you can use to help your site be more goal-oriented. and this is called Google Optimize. Optimize is a tool that works with Google Analytics, so you can not only pinpoint areas for improvement, but test what kind of changes would work best. So for example, let's say the Trade Street Jam Company noticed a low number of page viewers for their hot sauce. And this might be explained because people think of them strictly as a jam company. To help, they might have a goal to increase page views and then sales of hot sauce. They have a few ideas, prominently featuring hot sauce on their homepage, adding a "before you go, shop our hot sauces" link on the checkout page. They might have multiple designs, calls to actions, and offers to try, but how can they learn what worked best? And that's where Optimize can help. The tool lets you run tests to see which content variations works best. The tool includes A/B, multivariant, and redirect tests, and they integrate seamlessly with Google Analytics. You can learn more about Google by Optimize by visiting g.co/optimize. And these links will all be in the handout, and notice they're usually in the bottom left-hand corner of the slide. So now that we've talked about goals, let's switch gears and talk about making the website search friendly. The process of helping a website increase its visibility on search engines is called search engine optimization, or SEO. We could do an entire presentation on SEO, but this section will give you a few tips to get your site off to a great start. It's clearly important that your business can be found online when people search, but it's also useful to understand how people search and what they search for. For example, from 2000 to 2021, Google search data shows 100% increases for searches that include the words "now," "near me." That indicates that people want what they're searching for immediately. If you have products and services they are looking for and your website confirms it, you have a great opportunity to make a sale. To help you understand how to make your site more search friendly, let's look at a Google search results page. It's probably familiar to you, but we're going to break it down into sections. At the top, you see the word or phrase or question that the searcher typed in. That's called a search query. Below the search query, you see the search results. For this example, shows a text ad at the top of the results clearly labeled. Underneath the ad is the start of the natural, or what Google calls organic, results. Creating a search-friendly site helps increase your chances of appearing in this area. Organic results include sites that Google's algorithm has identified as relevant and useful matches for the search query. When we talk about making your site search-friendly, we mean improving the chances of it appearing higher in these organic results. Clicks to links in the organic results are free, and websites can't pay Google to appear here. And advertising doesn't influence a website's organic presence or position. There's one more section to review, and on the right-hand side of the page is a Google business profile. Business profiles are available to local businesses with storefronts and service areas. If this is something you're interested in, we have a previous video about how to set that whole system up on our YouTube channel. So you can hire a company or a consultant to improve your website's SEO, but there are plenty of things you can do for yourself to improve your site's visibility in these organic search results. First, make your site fast. A website's load time is important, especially for mobile devices. A study commissioned by Google and conducted by 55 and Deloitte found that faster site speed improved conversion rates and reduced bounce rates. In other words, websites that load faster encourage customers to stay longer and purchase more. Next, improve SEO by publishing original content that's useful, clear, and accurate. Include keywords consumers would search for to find your site, and make sure your website pages actually include these words. SEO-friendly sites also include links to either other relevant places within your site or to other websites that publish high-quality information. And third, use text to anchor your links whenever possible, including relevant keywords as part of the link. Descriptive page titles and accurate page descriptions can also make your site more search-friendly. They should be unique to each page, and many content management systems allow for you to add them. Next, organization. The way your site is organized is known as information architecture. Logical information architecture helps visitors find the information they're looking for, and it's good for an SEO too. And why is that? because thoughtful organization helps Google makes Google easily understand what your website is about and including what information is most important. Finally, remember to design your site in a way that works for all browsers and devices. About half of your visitors will be viewing your site from smartphones and tablets. And if they have trouble using their website, they may not choose to return. And another free tool that Google can help you and another free tool from Google that can help you monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your site's presence in the Google search results is called Google Search Console. So what is it? It's a free tool designed to help improve your site's performance in the Google search results. It used to be called a Webmaster Tools, and you may remember that if you had a website a while ago. Important note, you don't have to sign up for Search Console to be included in Google search results. But this tool helps you understand and improve how Google sees your site. As a small business owner, you may not dive deep into the technical details that Search Console reports, but it can help you understand how and why to make improvements. Search Console tools and reports can help you find out in a variety of ways, including confirming that Google can find and crawl your site, and crawling means accessing the pages, fixing indexing problems and allowing for you to request re-indexing of new or updated content. Indexing means including pages in Google's index that's required to show up in search results. Showing Google search traffic data for your site, for example, how often your site appears in Google search and which search queries show your site and how often searchers click through all your queries. And allowing you to sign up for alerts if Google encounters issues on your site. It also helps you troubleshoot issues for mobility usability. If you want to sign up for a free Search Console account, start by visiting g.co/search console. You'll need to add a website property to your account and verify your ownership. You can create a property that includes an entire domain. So for example, example.com, or a property that's limited to a single branch of your website, example.com/clothing. Once verification is complete, your account will be ready and you'll start collecting data for the reports. So we're going to throw in some bonus tips. Having a mobile-friendly website is clearly important. And you can use the Search Console's mobility usability report to help your site get there. Did you know there's a way to see how your website looks on different devices from your computer? You'll need to open your site in a Chrome browser. Then you're going to right-click on the web page and click Inspect. This takes you into Chrome Developer Tools. You'll see the visible web page on the left side of the screen and the HTML code on the right. This tool allows you to inspect elements on your web page, including, you guessed it, how it looks on different devices. Above the HTML code, there's a small icon that shows a screen, overlaid by a mobile screen. It allows you to toggle the devices and see the web page on different size screens. You can change the size of the visible screen by entering screen dimensions, the smartphone type, and more. All right, we've talked about goals and organization. The next thing you need to consider is how visitors experience your site, no matter what device they use. You want to create a website that offers ease and convenience for customers. More than ever, consumers look for convenience when they're shopping. Online shopping continues to grow for mobile, and this trend has become even more pronounced since 2020. Since the pandemic's onset, more than a quarter of online shoppers are using their mobile devices, ranging as high as 44% for groceries, though many of these people have nearly consistent access to their home computers. This also includes mobile apps. Google searches for online shopping app download globally grew by over 300% year over year. In order to make the most of this trend, your website must be convenient on all devices. Your first goal is to make it easier for people to use your website on a small screen. Let's talk about 6 ways you can make your website easier to use and more convenient for customers. First, a responsive design. This means your website layout responds to the device being used, a fluid design that adapts to the screen size. The goal is to make it just as easy to use a website on a phone as on a desktop computer. As you build or rebuild a website, try a mobile-first approach. Instead of testing your site on a desktop computer, start by testing on a phone. For example, navigation is critically important. Design your site to allow plenty of space for users to tap on links. Think of a mobile visitor trying to navigate. If your site includes a call to action, make it tappable, linking visitors directly to the content they want to access. A little technical, but worth discussing with your website designer, is using vector graphics. They load quickly and can be sized up and down without losing quality, compared to raster graphics like JPEGs, GIFs, and PNGs. When in doubt, less is more. A clean, minimalist design can make it easier for visitors to complete actions on your site. Last but not least, design a site for everyone. Follow accessibility standards so people with disabilities who may use assistive technology can more readily access your web pages. Let's take a moment and you can even just think about this activity if you don't want to try it right now. If you have a phone handy, search for your own website or a site that you use on a computer a lot. How quickly does it load? How does it look? If you try to navigate around, is it difficult to do, easy to do? And if this is your website, when you're doing this activity, start making a list of potential improvements for mobile site visitors. Second, make it easy to buy stuff on your site. How many of you have visited a website, tried to buy something, but got stumped during the checkout process and bailed? A difficult checkout process can have a major impact on a site's conversion rate. Here are some things you can do to make it easier for visitors to complete purchases on your site. First, reduce the number of steps in the checkout process. Less is more. Second, show a visitor their process they move through the checkout. This lets them know when they have left to do and when they are almost done. Offer guest checkout for visitors who don't want to create an account to make a purchase. A tip, after their transaction is complete, you might offer them the option to create an account for next time. And give people choices. Offer multiple payment options in digital wallets, such as Google Pay. Make it easy for customers to find and buy things they need, even if they don't know that they need it yet. If implemented well, related product recommendations will encourage customers to add more products to their shopping carts. Talk to your web developer about ways to add related product recommendations to your website. Recommendations might be based on a customer's online purchase history, the products they viewed, or products that complement the items in their shopping cart. For example, if someone added a jar of jam to their cart, the website might suggest a specially sized jam spoon, which would be a nice touch as a gift. If you sell products that require special components, for example, batteries being sold separately, this is another opportune moment to suggest an additional product. Your goal is to make it convenient for customers to find everything they need on your site without extra effort. And finally, try to find ways to make shopping more convenient online and offline. For example, a restaurant may now offer curbside pickup and let people know about it on their website. An e-commerce site might offer multiple options for shipping and delivery, for free shipping with a minimum order. And service providers might offer virtual options, allowing customers to continue being customers from the convenience of their own home. These are just a few general ideas to consider as you design your website that meets the need of your customers. You also want to consider the speed of your site, how quickly or slowly your site loads. Your website speed is extremely important, especially on mobile devices. And Google's Test My Site does just that. It tests your site and evaluates the user experience on a mobile device. Test My Site will tell you exactly how fast your site loads on a mobile device, pinpoint trouble spots, and give you personalized recommendations on how else you can make your website more convenient. It takes just seconds for the tool to scan your site and generate a report. To try it out, you go to testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com and type in your website address in the blank field. You'll immediately learn how many seconds it takes for your site to load. An example, 3.6 seconds, plus a rating, poor, needs improvement, or good. You'll also have the ability to check out the speeds of a competitor site or other sites in your industry. And for more detailed recommendations, you can have a report emailed to you. Every second a potential customer waits for your sites to load counts. A 2020 study found that improving your site's load time by just 1/10 of a second can boost conversion rates by 8%. And people who make purchases on their phones say they're more likely to buy when they can make the purchase quickly. In this case, time literally is money. The previously mentioned Test My Site can give you the information you need on how your site is performing in this capability. Test My Site will tell you if your website is fast or not. Every second a potential contestant spends waiting for your site to load counts. This tool will rate your site's speed, poor, needs improvement, or good, and offer other specific information on how to improve. Speed isn't the only factor that can affect a user's experience on your site, and Test My Site also evaluates personalization. Test My Site will give you tips on how to run experiments to see what content is engaging customers most and how to create a tailored experience for distant customers, how to launch your mobile site when a customer is offline, and more. The last element Test My Site can help you with is customer experience. Beyond how fast your site loads, there are other factors that can slow them down or throw a roadblock as they're trying to interact with your website. For instance, if they're trying to make a purchase and they have to fill out a bunch of fields, they may get frustrated and stop. Or they may think, I don't have time to do this now, I'll come back later. The Test My Site tool will scan your site and offer suggestions for how to remove these roadblocks, such as allowing users to sign in with Google and have their information autofilled at checkout. For a pull report on your site's speed, personalization, seamlessness, provide your email address on the Test My Site tool. You'll get technical suggestions you can pass along to your developers, as well as marketing solutions you can start implementing immediately. All right, now let's talk about the information within your website. A great website has a lot of useful, relevant content that helps people find what they're looking for. Even if you don't have a lot of web pages now, your website will probably grow over time. As it does this, it's important to keep it well organized. Planning on how new content fits into the framework of your website can set it up for success. So start with a plan. Information architecture, or IA, sounds technical, but you don't need to be a website designer, a programmer, or an architect to create one. Simply put, it's a plan to organize the information on your site. The IA maps out sections, pages, and the functionality of your site. The goal is to help people find information they're looking for and to complete tasks. To do this, you need to understand how the pieces of your site fit together to create the larger picture and how items relate to each other. There are several pages and sections found on most sites. Those include the home page, an About Us page or section, and a contact page. Depending on your business, you'll probably include products or services sections too. There's no one right way to organize a site, but you may find it useful to review business goals you wrote down earlier in the workshop. To keep these at the top of your mind as you create this plan. So let's go over our last few tips for organizing your site. Before you map out your main navigation and gather content, consider which pages need to be included on your website. Make a list. Give each page on this list a clear call to action. For example, the web page shown on this slide invites visitors to shop new releases. A good call to action describes the action you would like visitors to take. Signing up for a membership like the Trade Street Jam-A-Leaf Club, subscribing to an email newsletter, adding a product to the shopping cart. Here's another way to think about it. There shouldn't be any dead ends. Visitors shouldn't get to the bottom of a web page and have to make a conscious decision about where to go or what to do next. Visual elements can help sighted visitors notice important information and cue them to take further action. Be consistent. If visual and text aren't consistent, it can be difficult for visitors to get the hang of using your site. And finally, optimize your website's navigation. Users shouldn't have to think about finding a page. Navigation should be intuitive. Many websites include a site search feature too. As your site is growing and you have your base content, you'll be thinking about adding content. How do you get to more ideas? Enter Google Trends, and you can get there by visiting g.co/trends. It's a free tool that you can use to understand the relative popularity of keywords over time. You can access a largely unfiltered sample of actual Google searches. The data is anonymous, It's categorized, and each search is assigned a topic and aggregated or grouped. This allows trends to display interest in a particular topic from around the globe or down to city-level geography. You can use it to research keyword popularity, that's a rough word, and incorporate important keywords into your website content. Okay, so how can you use Google Trends to research content for your website? Here's a couple ideas. First, you can compare words and phrases to see which are searched more often. Trade Street Jam Company might be curious to see how a search for jam compares to a search for jelly. It's pretty interesting to see the results shown here from a search conducted in September 2021. If you set trends to show data for website searches in the United States, 2004 to present, in all categories, it shows that people are searching for the word jam. Awesome. But if you scroll down to the related topics and related queries, the top results appear to be related to games, not food. If you set the category to food and drink, it changes things. The graph looks different for starters. Now you see a regularly seasonal spike, even July and December. If you dig into that, you might be able to get some ideas for adding popular, relevant content. Maybe a recipe section focused on summer fruit jam or spiced cranberry holiday jam. Okay, so now let's add another layer to that mix. With trends, you can compare search terms too. If you add the word jelly, you will see its relative search popularity compared to the word jam. Now you can see that in most part of the United States, jelly is actually more frequently searched than jam. According to trends, that flips in the Pacific Northwest and Alaska. This information may or may not give you ideas for new content, but it definitely suggests that using the word jelly on your website may help Google connect your website with more searchers who want to find the products you sell. Before engaging with the website, people want to know that it is safe to use, especially if they're sharing confidential information like their credit card numbers. And that's why it's important to take steps to reassure customers that you take their privacy seriously and have a trustworthy site. The next time you're online paying a bill or placing an order, take a look at the website address at the top of the page. You'll likely notice a padlock symbol at the beginning of the URL. You might also notice the address begins with an HTTPS instead of just HTTP. Both those things indicate you're on a secure website. So how do you provide that information for your site visitors? First, you need an SSL certificate. Briefly, secure socket layer, SSL technology, encrypts data so it can't be stolen by hackers. Many customers who are used to online shopping will know to look for signs that your site has an SSL certificate before buying anything. You can't get an SSL certificate through Google. You'll need to get it through your web hosting provider or a certificate authority, a CA. Okay, let's back up a minute. When you're on the web page, the browser you're using is consistently communicating with a web server. That's how you're online. But as this information is being transmitted back and forth between the server and the browser, it has the potential to be intercepted by hackers. An SSL certificate signals to the browser that it should make the connection to the server secure and private, so there's no opportunity for someone else to access the information that's being shared. Savvy customers know to look for the padlock or the HTTPS before making a purchase or sharing sensitive information. And it's in your best interest to offer them the security on your site. Your web hosting provider may be able to issue an SSL certificate and renew it periodically. If that's not the case, you'll need to work with a certificate authority, a CA, to obtain one. There are many providers, including the nonprofit Let's Encrypt, a free, automated, and open certificate authority provided by the Internet Security Research Group. All right, so next up, secure payments. Google Pay. If your website includes an e-commerce component, you want to ensure that the payments are secure. To do that, you need to create an merchant account with a payment gateway. The payment gateway is also known as a payment processor and does exactly what it says. It serves as the liaison between your business and your customers by safeguarding the financial information. Google Pay is just an option, just like PayPal or Amazon Pay, Apple Pay, that allows customers to use secure payment method they're familiar with and trust when they're checking out your site. Rather than entering their payment information directly into your site, They log into Google Pay with their Google account and password and select from any of the payment messages they've saved there. Their payment information is stored securely, and only the information needed for each transaction is shared, which reduces risk and exposure to fraud. It's also faster than typing in detailed information every time someone wants to buy something. Google Pay is free to both you and your customers, and you can have it up and running on your site in under a week. To learn more and to access Google Pay for Business, visit pay.google.com/about/business. Let's add 3 final tips for building a trustworthy site. Another way to build a brand trust with consumers is to have good, authentic customer reviews. Customers are savvy and won't just take your word for it that your products and services are 5-star. They want to hear from real people who have done business with you, used your product services, and want to share their experiences. Encourage satisfied customers to spread the word, including on your business profile on Google. Embedded reviews on your website is a great way to put some of that feedback front and center for potential customers. Some review sites even offer widgets to help you do that easily. Encourage feedback from customers by making your contact information easy to find through your site, including your location, phone number, and email address. So we've covered a lot of information. So now let's talk about what you should do next. If you haven't already, set up Google Analytics so you can start to track and measure your goals. To take it a step further, try Google Optimize to run content experiments and use these tools together to see which content is most effective. Next, sign up for a Google Search Console account and take a look at how your site is performing in Google Search. You can also find out how mobile-friendly your site's pages are. Once you've run your site through the Test My Site tool, browse the full report for tips on how to make your site more convenient for customers to use. Use Google Trends to get content ideas that can help you create an organized website. And finally, look into Google Pay to offer a secure payment method that will build trust with your customers. If you want to sharpen your business skills and marketing skills, check out Primer. Primer offers a series of short, fun lessons that are all less than 5 minutes each. You can download the free app to your phone. If you have an Android device, you can get it from the Google Play Store. And if you have an Apple device, you can get it from the App Store. You can grow your digital skills no matter where you're located and grow with Google ONAIR. ONAIR offers free workshops where you can learn digital skills about a wide range of topics. Visit g.clo/growonair to register for more upcoming sessions, and you can also rewatch past workshops on demand. Today's session was brought to you by Grow with Google, an initiative that helps people prepare for work, find jobs, and grow their business. Job seekers can grow their skills in order to find new jobs and advance their careers. Teachers can learn how to put the latest technology to work inside and outside of the classroom. Small business owners can build their online presence and find new customers. Startups can learn how to get the ideas and exposure they need to succeed. Developers can sharpen their current skills and master new ones. To learn more, visit google.com/grow. A few upcoming programs over the next 2 months at the Addison Public Library focused on business include on Thursday, December 16th, business law, formation to contract negotiation from 6:30 to 8 p.m. All the following programs can be found on Zoom. Then we'll be back with another Grow with Google program called Make Your Business More Accessible. And that's Thursday, January 20th from 12 to 1. We'll then be talking about developing an effective home-based business on January 24th from 6:30 to 8, and then how to green up your business on Thursday, February 3rd through 12 to 1. To register for this program, please visit our website, addisonlibrary.org/events. Thank you very much.